Hello friends, looking at current affairs for 29th April. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 13. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, Supreme Court offers to set the stage for peace talks in Kashmir. So we have seen this earlier too. The Supreme Court had stated that it can facilitate through interlocutors to bring in peace into the Kashmir Valley to return to normalcy. The center can be facilitated through the Supreme Court. But the government has clearly stated that it will not have any talks with secessionist forces. So the leaders in Kashmir Valley who are demanding azadi or independence will not be spoken with, will not be communicated with, has been firmly stated by the center. It said that those who want to function within the constitutional framework are ready and talks can be conducted. So this has been the response of the government on this, that it said it cannot negotiate with separatists. Next is flying to become paperless soon. So this is the government's plan called Digi Yatra. So this Digi Yatra plan will allow paperless travel for air passengers. So you can have your digital boarding passes at airports too. So it means you will require either Aadhaar or passport to book air tickets. So the passengers do not carry the printout of the ticket or any documental proof when entering the airport. So this is the information. So biometric information would be required. So on a pilot project on this has already taken place. So you don't need any paper, but you will need your fingerprint or some such aspect. So the Rajiv Gandhi International Airport at Hyderabad has already started a pilot project in 2015. So it allows passengers to enter Aadhaar number at kiosks set up at one of the entry gates, and they can be allowed entry. So of course biometric information is also taken to prove the identity. So this has similar plans are also there for Mumbai and Bengaluru airports, and this Digi Yatra plan will be announced. So this is the news. Then next is train tickets on demand by 2020. So Railways Minister has announced that train ticket reservation for passengers can happen on demand for all trains by 2020. So this is possible if the dedicated freight corridor, which is planned, that is opened up by 2019. Also existing railway network as such is to be expanded. So all this capacity increase, if it takes place on the existing routes too and the dedicated freight corridor is in place, then this will be possible. So it says that the freight traffic over the decades has gone up by 1,344%. So that is how many times it has increased. So 100% means increase means it has doubled. So this you can see it has become 13 times almost. And passenger traffic has increased by 1,642%, means 16 times it has increased. But in the same time frame, the route per kilometer that has increased is only 23%. So this shows that we need more capacity building to take place, and that is why the projects have been initiated and this will be put into effect. So after that, it would be possible that you can have your train ticket reservation on demand on all trains. So this is the plan of the Indian Railways. You can see Railway Minister says that 2/3 of the railway tracks handle passenger traffic and only 1/3 of it is for the freight corridor. Freight as such means for the goods trade, but once the dedicated freight corridor starts off, then this will be value addition. So freight will shift to that, and that would result in railways having capacity opened up for passenger traffic. So this is there. Revenues, we already know revenues. In terms of revenues, 2/3 of the revenues come from freight, but then it is not prioritized. So that is why this dedicated freight corridor has also been pushed ahead with. Then next is now Karnan bans travel of Supreme Court judges. So this is regarding the Kolkata High Court judge, Justice C.S. Karnan. We have discussed about him. Contempt of court proceedings were initiated against him. Actually have been initiated against him, and a 7-judge bench is hearing that case because he had written scurrilous letters. So where he has used words and he has called that corruption is prevalent and many sitting and retired High Court and Supreme Court judges are corrupt. So such allegations have been put in this letter to the Prime Minister by this Kolkata High Court judge, Justice C.S. Karnan. So this has been taken up by the Supreme Court 7-judge bench, and it is hearing this case of contempt of court against a sitting judge. So this is the first time in the history of Indian judiciary that contempt of court proceedings have been initiated by against a sitting judge. And he belongs to the scheduled castes. So that is why he has also claimed that he is being targeted because he belongs to the scheduled caste. And he himself has initiated a case against this 7-judge bench. He had called him for hearing. The 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court should come for hearing because they are conducting violation against the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act. So now he has again, of course the 7-judge bench did not go ahead. He had called him to attend, to be attendant in his house. So this was his ruling then, and now the order which he has passed is that they should not be allowed to travel abroad. So this is ban on traveling abroad against the 7-judge Supreme Court bench by this Kolkata High Court judge. So this is the defiance which is being shown. This also shows that the judiciary does not have the powers to bring in such unruly judges under control, because there can be no initiation of any process against him. He cannot be removed. There is independence of judiciary, so he cannot be removed from the post. It can only take place through impeachment. That is a parliamentary process. So that's what he's asking for, that you don't need to start contempt of court proceedings against me, but you can impeach me through the parliament. So that is what he's claiming to or demanding. So this is regarding him. Next is smart pebbles to monitor air, water. So this is an initiative of Department of Science and Technology. It is going to finalize the companies which would be required to provide these sensors. So these smart pebbles are being brought in. So they would be used to monitor the quality or assess the quality of water in the river. So for Ganga River cleaning project. So these smart pebbles, they are not actually pebbles, they are sensors. And pebbles does not mean they should be of that particular shape. They can be of any shape. That's just a pseudonym. And these are low cost, low power sensors, and they would be powered by chips which will be provided by Intel. So this is being planned by Department of Science and Technology. So they have already shortlisted companies which will be providing these sensors. So they can monitor various variables to assess the quality of water, like bacterial levels in the river, heavy metal concentration in the atmosphere, etc. And they will be sourced. So low power is required, so they can be sourced through power from solar energy, like power from solar or wind, flowing water, wave motion, or mechanical vibration. So these will be low cost, low power sensors called smart pebbles. The next is Maoists killed 2 tribals. Security forces destroyed 2 camps. So we are seeing, earlier we saw a Maoist attack in Chhattisgarh. Now this is an attack in Odisha. So in the same region, you can see that part was Chhattisgarh here, and this is Malkangiri district in Odisha. So here security forces have destroyed camps also. The 2 tribals were killed by these Maoists, claiming that they were police informers. So this is the incident here in Odisha. Next is notice to Ganga after getting human status. So river Ganga and river Yamuna have been given the status of a human being by Uttarakhand High Court just a few days back, last month or so. And this actually was the living human entity status given after a river in New Zealand was given a similar status. So this living human entity status means they can be litigant. They are like a human being, they can be litigant, they can be part of litigation also. The Uttarakhand High Court had also appointed or designated who will be officials or the custodians representing the river also. So these have been named by the Uttarakhand High Court in that same order. It said that the Chief Secretary, Advocate General, Director of the Namami Ganga project, they will be the custodians of river Ganga. So they will be the present as such to responding to this first plea now which has been filed against river Ganga. So this plea is actually asking that why land was given for construction of a trenching ground near river Ganga. So this would result in further degrading the Ganga river quality. So why this was given is the question asked by a petitioner, and now notice has been given to all these custodians too by the Uttarakhand High Court. So this case hearing would take place. Next is security cost row hits Udan's flight. So Udan we have already seen. Udan is Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagrik. So that was the scheme which was launched to limit the cost of flight tickets to. So for 1 hour journey, the price was limited to 2,500 rupees. So 50% of the seats in the flight would be reserved for this Udan scheme now. And airports have been revived. So these are around 43 airports which have been added into the Udan scheme, and allocation has been done for them. So these 43 airports now, the question arises is that who will provide for the security infrastructure for these airports. So security at airports is provided by CISF, Central Industrial Security Force, or even Central Police Forces. So this is the domain of the Ministry of Civil Aviation. It has to make provision for these security forces, and it has to make payment for the services availed by these security forces to the Home Ministry, because these forces come under Home Ministry. So the Ministry of Civil Aviation already has not paid for the security services which has been provided by Home Ministry for various airports. So it already owes. There's a loan of rupees 800 crore which is due, which Ministry of Civil Aviation has to pay to the Home Ministry for present airports, not the Udan ones. So there are 98 functional airports in the country presently too. So for those, whatever, this pending amount is still there to be paid. And now with the new 43 airports adding up in the Udan scheme, so how the costing of the security infrastructure will be provided for is coming as a hindrance now. So security cost row hits Udan's flights. That's the question. So finance minister is also involved here because it's financial matter. So finance minister has suggested that the cost should be borne by the passengers. But then this has not been accepted because the Home Ministry also says this would result in increase in the fares for the passengers, and that defeats the whole purpose of Udan. So now this matter is going to the PMO. So we'll see what further developments take place on this. So this is regarding Udan, the status as of now. Then next is money laundering may be made criminal offence. So the central government is now considering a proposal to make money laundering a separate criminal offence. So what does money laundering basically mean is that black money is converted into white. So black money is what is it? It's coming from some criminal activity. So it's a criminal activity because of which black money is generated, and that money, when it is shown as coming from some other source, so that is called money laundering, because you can't say that it has come from this criminal activity. So this money laundering as such is not a crime, but the criminal activity is a crime. So now what is the proposal is that money laundering itself should be a crime. So because what happens right now is money laundering cases are investigated by Enforcement Directorate, and these criminal activities are investigated by various investigating agencies. So the Enforcement Directorate has to wait for an FIR to be registered by these investigating agencies on that criminal activity, and after that money laundering proceedings can start. So even the SIT on black money has given this suggestion that money laundering investigations by Enforcement Directorate should be allowed without any dependence or for registration of cases by other police agencies. So this is what is being proposed now. So for this, the government will have to amend the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So this will facilitate. So money laundering itself is a criminal offense in various countries like USA, UK. They call it an independent criminal offense. But in India, in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2, the proceeds of crime, as it is defined, it is defined as proceeds which are coming from a criminal activity. So these are the proceeds of crime, and they are shown as white money. So since these are proceeds of crime, how will you know that these are coming from a criminal activity? Once that is proved, then it is called money laundering, and then the property as such can be attached and steps taken. So if money laundering is proved, that money laundering has been done, if that is the case itself, then Enforcement Directorate can initiate actions immediately. So this is the news. Then next is Cyprus calls for action against backers of violence factories. So this is an indirect reference to Pakistan as well. So the two heads of government, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Cyprus President, met, and they have spoken against states supporting violence factories, terrorism in the region. So Cyprus is also close to West Asia. We have already seen this. Cyprus President had also asked for India's assistance to merge the two Cyprus parts, the Greek Cypriot and the Turkish Cypriot. So Turkey has taken control of the northern Cyprus. So that help of India was also sought, only if it is ready. So this was there. So Cyprus has close relations with India. It supports India for membership to NSG. It supports India for membership to UN Security Council, permanent membership to UNSC2, and it is also an important investor in India. It's the 8th largest investor in India too. So Cyprus is also considered a tax haven. So here we have also amended our double taxation avoidance agreement with Cyprus, so that such money routed through Cyprus is controlled. So this is regarding Cyprus. Presently 4 pacts were signed on air services and on merchant shipping, etc. Then next is internet link issue may delay GST. So poor internet connectivity, especially in the northeastern region of India, can be a challenge because goods and services tax to be implemented requires GST network to be in place. So everything is dependent on internet connectivity. So the connectivity from the GST server as such and the state VAT data centers, also district VAT offices and state VAT offices being connected. All this is required. Even businesses, all dealers will have to upload their invoice-wise details also online. So all this will require internet connectivity. And internet connectivity is an issue, especially in Northeast. So the projects which have been initiated, they have to be completed. Many are being delayed. So the telecom secretary is being asked by the revenue secretary to appoint a senior level official to make sure that this connectivity in Northeast is brought in time, because 1 July is the deadline when GST is to be implemented. So this is regarding the GST network too, how the interface should be there at the central, state, district level too, and with the taxpayers as well. Then next is India to seal pact with Russia-led grouping. So this is a grouping, Eurasian Economic Union. So this comprises of 5 countries. So Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Armenia. So these are the 5 nations. So these 5 nations have formed a union called European Economic Union. So originally there were 3. It was established in 2014. Now there are 5 members here. India is planning to have an FTA, free trade agreement, with Eurasian Economic Union. So Eurasian is Europe, Asia. So Belarus here, even Russia, the western part, considered part of Europe as well. It's a European continent. So that's why it's called Eurasian Economic Union. And this FTA has been emphasized on by India because it wants to diversify to new markets. So the potential lies here. That is why this agreement has been brought in. So this is regarding European Economic Union. So it's an economic union, so it emphasizes on free movement of goods, capital, services and people in this region. And now FTA with India will facilitate India to access this market as well. Then next is a safer alternative to lithium ion batteries. So this is the last news item. So scientists have now developed a safer alternative because lithium ion batteries, which are generally used in smartphones, laptops, they are easy to use. They have many advantages, but then one disadvantage is that they sometimes catch fire too. So they are fire prone. So what the US research laboratory here has developed is nickel zinc batteries. So these nickel zinc batteries are using 3-dimensional zinc sponge, because zinc as such also results in dendrites being formed and then there can be short. So zinc sponge 3D structure is used. So this provides energy content as good as the lithium ion batteries. So it has rechargeability too, because how we recharge our laptops and smartphones. So that rechargeability will also be there, but the safety issue will be taken care of. So the safety issue means it will not be fire prone, nickel zinc, because it will not have lithium. So this is what has been proposed now, nickel zinc batteries. So you can see the advantages and disadvantages of lithium ion batteries. So they have high energy density, so greater power in smaller package. That's a benefit. Higher voltage, strong current. So this all advantages will be there in nickel zinc also. They have a long shelf life. Only 5% discharge takes place over a month. So that is there. Disadvantages of lithium ion is that it is a little expensive too. Its battery temperature must be monitored, so it should have a sealed covering as such. And another aspect which we saw is that it has hazardous material, so it may catch fire too. So this will be taken care of with this new nickel zinc batteries now. So that is it. Thank you.